Hello, Postgres Vision 2020. It's very nice to be here remotely, stuck inside just like everyone else. It's too bad we can't all be together for this, but hopefully the time we spend together remotely will be good for everybody. Today, I just wanted to talk to everyone about Postgres in healthcare. And really, Postgres in healthcare is not just a conversation around Postgres specifically as a platform, but broader as an open source technology in the healthcare space. You know, my company, Konica Minolta, builds a software platform that is used in radiology. Radiologists and hospitals, healthcare systems, imaging clinics use our software every day to see patients and diagnose patients. And this platform has been around in one version or another for almost 2 decades. But about 5 years ago, we decided to rebuild the entire platform from the ground up. And when we were doing that, we were looking at all the technologies that we wanted to use to build this new platform. And a lot of those technologies were open source. One of the big shifts we looked to make was a move from Microsoft SQL to another platform. Initially, we settled on looking at an open source database for a number of reasons. One of those obviously being license costs, right? Every customer that we have of any decent size eventually hit a limit within Microsoft SQL where they started paying way more for Microsoft SQL than they were paying for our software. And that became problematic for everybody. On top of that, we saw scaling issues with Microsoft SQL on our platform. So when we started to rebuild the platform, we looked at all the different places from an open source perspective that would make sense for moving from a Microsoft SQL relational database platform to an open source one. We looked at MySQL and we looked at Postgres. We even looked outside of just strict relational database platforms. But at the end of the day, between scaling and the community, we chose Postgres. And we chose Postgres because it just from a performance perspective seemed to scale better than anything else that we were looking at. And so we settled on that platform, and it was kind of an easy choice for us. It made sense at the time. And it was something that our customers didn't really see initially when we started moving them to this new platform. Now, a lot of this is in the background, and a lot of these customers that had been with us forever didn't really look at what was under the covers. So we were moving them to a new platform that had a lot of open source components from a platform that didn't. But at the end of the day, they were upgrading to a platform that was much better than the platform that they had before. This move for us was big. It took a lot of dev time. It took a lot of manpower, and it took a lot of work to get us to shift our entire thinking from a sort of in the box vendor centric platform to a open source platform with a number of open source technologies used to create what we needed. And that meant that we could more easily manage our customer systems, and it meant that we could secure those customer systems without having to rely on licenses and vendors. We could more easily rely on ourselves. So that conversation with our customers was fairly easy in the beginning, right? A lot of the customers that we had on our legacy platform were easy to upgrade. But as we started to go up market and reach out to larger and larger entities, we started to talk to these customers about what was under the covers. All of these large healthcare systems, hospitals, imaging centers, they all have IT shops. And all these IT shops are filled, the majority of them are filled with Microsoft people, right? People who are familiar with the Microsoft platforms because they're running a lot of these Microsoft platforms in their data centers today. And when they started asking about the platforms that we run on and what technologies are behind this platform, as we started to talk to them about Postgres, a lot of them were very worried about what that meant for running this in their environment. A lot of them didn't know, okay, well, if I have a problem with the database, I don't have Microsoft to call and get answers. I don't have a Postgres DBA that can manage this database. I don't know anything about Postgres. I don't know anything about open source. It created a lot of confusion for them and a lot of heartache. And what that conversation turned around and turned into was a conversation about customer service, right? Every conversation we have with these customers became a platform conversation about we're providing a platform to you that we are going to support end to end. There is no need to call any other vendors if you have an issue with our platform. You call us, we're managing everything end to end, including the database. We're going to do the database maintenance for you. We're going to automate that database maintenance so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to manage your database backups so you don't have to worry about having a database administrator managing your backups, putting those backups somewhere. We'll handle all of that for you. That put them at ease, and it also eased the minds of those in charge, knowing that there wasn't some looming licensing fee in the next year or 2 years that they were going to have to pay when they scaled the platform. And a lot of these customers that we talk to are seeing, maybe 100,000 patients a year. But they intend to grow. They intend to acquire other imaging centers or other hospital systems. And they want to maybe double or triple their volume in the next few years. And that's always a concern for them. They don't want to worry about, in 2 years, do I have to pay Microsoft or some other vendor a large chunk of money just to keep operating the platform that they're operating today? With our Postgres platform, they don't have to worry about that. So it made a lot of sense for our customers to go on this journey with us, so long as they have us as a partner and they know that we're going to support them end to end. And then the next question that always comes up in these conversations is around security and management of the platform in general, right? A lot of times a customer will say, well, it's open source. How do I know it's going to be secure? How can I tell my CIO or my CISO that the data in this platform is secure and safe? Because with patient data, that's kind of objective number one for most IT departments, is making sure that the patient data is safe and secure in whatever platforms they put it in. And that conversation has always been an easy one for us. We're managing the platform for them, right? So we know that we're going to patch the system when there's a security vulnerability that's out there. We also tell them that, in the majority of cases, the open source community patches the vulnerabilities faster than any of the major vendors do. So we know we can get those patches into the hands and into the systems of our customers much faster with an open source platform than we can with any other large vendor. So this conversation, that always starts out with, I don't know anything about this platform that you're trying to sell me, into a conversation around, you don't have to worry about what's under the covers. Don't worry about all of the technologies that we put together to build the platform that we're providing you. Worry about running your business. We'll worry about making sure the platform is safe and stable. And that includes all the open source technologies that we use to run the platform. We also ensure that we work with the customer to scale out the platform as need be. So if we need to add more database instances, or we need to set up PG streaming and read replicas, we do those things for our customers. And in most cases, if we're hosting the customer doesn't even know that this is happening in the background. We're scaling it as they grow. So, for most of these customers, they're looking for a partner, right? And we become that partner for them. In this journey for us and with Postgres, we're not a huge organization by any means. And I started to run into the issue of having, a problem that maybe sales doesn't find being a problem, but I definitely ran into it leading the engineering teams at Konica Minolta is headcount, right? I've got all these customers out there. I am automating a lot of the processes that we manage for our customers. But from a database perspective, I didn't have any DBAs when we started building out this platform, right? The DBAs we did have were in R&D. And in the early days of this platform switch, I had Microsoft SQL people on my team, but I didn't have any Postgres DBAs on my team. And that started to become a problem. If we ran into issues with Postgres, I had to escalate them to R&D all the time. So that became very quickly a bottleneck for me and for my customers. So I started looking for Postgres experts, right? First thing I wanted to do was get people in-house. How do I get out there in the community, find some good DBAs, and hire them to join my team so that we can support our customers better, right? I didn't want to have to continue going to R&D all the time in order to get the small things solved for my customers. So I looked, and I'm in an area that's pretty heavy with tech and with healthcare. And I thought, well, this should be an easy place to find a Postgres DBA. And that was absolutely not the case. I knew a lot of Postgres experts and a lot of Postgres DBAs that are, employed at previous companies that I've worked for and lots of places that I've worked with in the past. But I couldn't find anybody who was out there looking for a job and willing to relocate to where we were. So then I started looking around in the industry for what other people had done in my position. And that's when I stumbled across EDB's RDBA support team. So EDB has this offering called RDBA, and it's Remote DBA Services. What this did for us was absolutely huge, right? We brought on board their DBA team to support our customer base. And for the cost of, essentially less than the cost of 2 DBAs, I brought on a team of 24/7 DB experts from EDB to manage all of our customer databases. And overnight, I went from having a bottleneck to having more people than I had time to give work to. The RDBA team has been absolutely fantastic in helping us manage our customer base. On top of being experts in the field, being 24/7 meant I didn't have to go out and hire a number of DBAs that I would have to have on my team and have them rotate, on call or have them work different shifts. I now have a team that's 24/7 and works on my entire customer base whenever I need them to. On top of that, they immediately plugged into the technologies I already had and was already using. So we have an automation system that we were already using to manage a lot of our customers. They plugged directly into that and started automating all the things we needed automating. Backups, vacuums, anything of that nature, all of the, regular maintenance you would do in Postgres, they set up jobs and started automating all that work for us. So whereas, we were looking to hire some people and start going down this road, we hired a team of experts from EDB that did it in short order. And I went from, a customer base that was, in a good place, but still had a team behind it that was struggling to keep up, to being able to sleep at night almost instantaneously. It was kind of an overnight shift in my ability to focus on other things, because me and my team didn't have to focus on the database behind all of our platforms. It made our support of our customers so much easier and so much better that they are now an integral part of my team. I look at the RDBA team as essentially another team on my team of engineers, right? So I've got 3 or 4 groups of engineers that I manage, and now the RDBA team is just another group of engineers that I work with. That they are now just an extension of us, and our customers, in most cases, aren't even clued in to the fact that our DBAs are not ours, right? They belong to EDB, but that they work so well with us that we don't have to worry about any delay or any stoppage in work when we're trying to get our customers into a better place. So they are monitoring our customers for us. They're patching our customers for us. They're maintaining our customers for us. And oftentimes they know our customers have a problem before the rest of my teams do. They have been absolutely fantastic in making sure that my customers are safer and more protected than I ever could have done on my own. So the best thing that we did was make sure that we can scale by adding the RDBA team to our group of engineers that support our customer base. And that just makes the conversation with our customers that much easier. Anytime a customer asks me anything about Postgres, all I have to do is remind them that I have a 24/7 DBA team ready and willing to support any of their needs. And for the most part, they're in the shadows, not talking to our customers, but constantly doing work for them. And the customer just knows that their platform is up and running, that they can see patients, that they can do what they need to do to take care of their patients without having to worry about the platform it runs on. And a lot of IT people will, especially in these large hospital systems, will say, well, if I'm not managing this platform, then what am I doing? Well, to them I say, I'm sure you have a lot of other things that you need to be worried about and concerned about in securing the patient data on your other platforms. But let us take that burden off of you for this platform. And I think in most cases, in almost all cases, every customer that we talk to about that is absolutely ecstatic to find a partner in us that they don't have to really dip their toes into figuring out what's going on behind the scenes. So it's been a real fun journey for us, moving away from Microsoft SQL, moving into an open source platform, especially from a database perspective. We have a number of other open source technologies that we're using to build this platform, but Postgres is really the foundation of it all. And EDB has been absolutely instrumental in ensuring our success in this arena. And I have, in turn, introduced EDB to a number of our customers. Ultimately, our customers, they utilize this platform for a while and realize, hey, I want to start getting this data out of this database and into my data warehouse and start using that data for other things. Well, EDB has come in and come to our aid in these conversations and said, hey, let us help you build that data warehouse. Let us be the people that guide you and give you the expertise you need to build the data warehouse that's going to work for you. Most of our customers are, Microsoft SQL shops. Even our really large customers have a data warehouse built on Microsoft SQL. And so the first question they have is, how do I get that data out of Postgres? And how do I put it somewhere I can use it? And the conversation is usually, how do I get it out of Postgres and into Microsoft SQL so that we can use our current data warehouse? But after a while, that conversation usually turns around into, how do I build a data warehouse with Postgres that's going to meet all the needs of the organization and essentially replace the SQL data warehouse that we have today? We've had that happen in a number of cases, and our customers have worked very closely with EDB, even outside of our relationship, to build those data warehouses, and in turn end up using EDB for support for their other platforms as well. So we found EDB to be, one of the best partners we could have hoped for in the journey to making this platform something that we can support long term, that we can scale with our customers. And the healthcare industry right now is seeing a lot of mergers and acquisitions, right? So we have a lot of customers that are either being acquired or are acquiring. And with that means we have to be able to scale almost double, triple capacity in some cases overnight. So our customers are expecting a lot out of us. I'm thankful every day to have found the RDBA team and EDB in general to help us along that path and help us in the journey to scaling out and building out a future with our customer base. Our customers couldn't be happier with the level of support that we're giving them, and we couldn't do that without the support that we get from EDB. So it's been an absolutely fantastic journey. I can't say enough good things about the RDBA support team. They are by far the one thing I worry almost not at all. I almost have zero concerns around our database platform because our customers are so protected with our RDBA support team. It's been a phenomenal change, especially in my health and my ability to sleep, that I've got a team of experts behind me that can take care of the things that were keeping me up at night. Making sure that my customers' data is safe and backed up and properly maintained is something that plagued us for a long time. And EDB swooped in and kind of saved the day for us. It's been a long road. We've been on the platform with the RDBA team almost a year and a half now, and they are, they really are like coworkers at this point, and we couldn't be happier with this set of coworkers and the people that we're working with every day. And I look forward to what's next with this platform and with this relationship. They have done a lot so far, and they have a lot of things they want to continue to do for us. It's going to be interesting to see what other things they can help us with, and what other avenues we can take as far as making this platform better for the next generation of customers. As we start to look at the platform again and start to transform into the next thing that we want this application to be. Every chance we get, we ask the EDB team for guidance on our strategy and what we're doing today, where we want to go with it. And they've been the perfect partner to help us get where we're going. So with that, I'd just like to kind of wrap up and say that, I'm really thankful that they gave me this opportunity to kind of talk about healthcare and open source platforms, and our use of EDB's team. The open source community has meant a lot to us in this journey, but EDB has meant even more. They're really a partner that we can count on, and I'm very blessed to have them as part of the organization that we work with. It couldn't be. I don't think I could have a better team of experts behind me. The platform that we're running on today is really kind of sky's the limit for us. We're seeing new opportunities every day with what we can do with this platform, and it's an exciting time for us to kind of scale and change as the industry changes. As we're seeing today with all of the changes in the way we work and the changes with how COVID has kind of changed the industry as a whole, healthcare is adapting with it. But we all know healthcare is the one tech sector that is always a few steps behind everybody else. With the platform we have, we're kind of uniquely positioned to stay in lockstep with the rest of the tech industry. And EDB has really helped us kind of maintain that. We couldn't do that without them. But it's been really interesting to see how we adapt and we change with the change in enterprise healthcare, and the way that enterprise healthcare sees open source now has changed quite a lot just over the last couple of years in our conversations with these customers as they start to see and understand how we can build out this platform and run this platform on the technologies that we use today. So in short, I just wanted to say thank you to EDB, a big shout out to the RDBA team that supports us. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much for being one of the best partners we could absolutely hope for. And I thank everybody for their time. Hope everybody stays safe out there, and you guys have a good weekend.
Great, Adam. Thank you very much. So, folks, Adam was actually not able to join us for the finishing part of the presentation, but there was one question that had been posed during the course of the presentation itself, and that was, what software besides Postgres? And that was coming from Mike J. On his behalf, I'll certainly give a shot at answering that. So they're running a proprietary Konica Minolta healthcare platform focused on imaging, and beneath that, Postgres, as well as a number of extensions. They are also working through a deployment platform that also handles management of the solution itself. And there was another follow-up question from Sean Kerner. When did Konica Minolta change from SQL Server? I believe it's actually still a blended estate, but as you heard during the presentation, they started the evolution in the last couple of years and accelerated that about 1.5 years ago when they began the relationship with EDB and the remote DBA team. And I think that wraps up the questions that we've had to this point. So presuming we don't see any others pop in, I want to thank everyone for your time. We've had a pretty good session here, kind of highlighting the value of remote DBA, as well as the journey and story that they've had from the Konica Minolta side. And we've got another 24 hours of talks ahead of us, so make sure to tune in to any one of them, and you should be able to find this talk as well as the others available for consumption on demand from a recording perspective over the next many days. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.